Okay, I'm going to call the Council on Aging Board meeting to order Monday, May 10th at, I can't see my watch, 12:32. Carol, will you take minutes again, please?
Yeah.
So could we have a roll call of who's present?
Can we do a roll call by just having everyone go around and say their name? Or
No, you have to say their
I
names.
have
We
to
have to
say
say
it?
here. Yep.
Okay.
So just go.
Here. Donna Foisey.
Here.
Harriet Fisher.
Here.
Teresa Rogers. Here. Harvey Holmes. Here. Carol Laughlin. Here. Donna Sharon. Here. And Cindy.
Here. And the only person absent is Jack.
Okay, we have a quorum. Okay, minutes, did everybody receive April minutes? Review?
Yep.
Are there any corrections or changes? If not, could I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
A motion made by Donna and seconded by Teresa. Any other discussion? Then we'll have a roll call vote on accepting the April minutes.
Paula LeBlanc.
Yes?
Donna Foisey.
Yes.
Harriet Fisher.
She doesn't vote.
She doesn't vote. Teresa Rogers. Harvey. Yes. Carol Laughlin.
You gotta
Cindy, you
speak
don't.
loud. Speak loud. Teresa, speak louder back there, will you?
Okay. The motion carries unanimously. We accept the April minutes. Moving on to new business, update from the director, reopening.
Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm so glad to have everybody here. Even though there's nobody on Zoom, it's still being recorded. So the reopening plan is it's going to be very slow. We are waiting for guidance from the Office of Elder Affairs in Boston. They are putting guidelines and recommendations, no requirements. So basically they're just going to do, if you want to have a class inside, this is what it could look like. But everything has to be approved by your local Board of Health and your local city council, mayor, for us, it would be select board. Right now, we're still going to be going very slow. We're having classes outside. We started painting classes outside or craft classes outside. And that's all that we've had so far. And we were allowed to do this today because we are still on Zoom recording. And it's only the board members who are allowed here, and everyone else must call in so that they can participate because it is a public meeting. So it's, like I said, it's slow and steady. We're still doing lunches. And as we start to open up, we're hoping maybe August. In August, there has been no official date given from the town when we could open or when they're opening up town hall, but they are talking more about it as the numbers decrease and the vaccination numbers increase. So that's kind of where we stand on that portion. Are there any questions about that?
Okay, moving on, the update about programs, dining room, still doing the drive.
Yep, so we're still doing the drive-through. Our numbers are pretty steady. People aren't hopping to the fish sticks as much as they were a year ago. But there are busier days that we have. The turkey is still big. And the reason why we can't move it indoors is because we would only be able to have probably 7 people inside. And right now we're serving, 20 to 30 a day. So our numbers are definitely higher doing it this way than if we were able to open. We have been reaching new people in the past year, which is really nice. And we're hoping that they will continue to come once we open. I don't know if that will happen or not. We'll have to wait and see. But people really like being able to just drive up, get their food, and go home. And it's cold, but they've been coming and getting it. So I thought there would be a drastic decline. There was a little bit of one, but like we have 22 people for tomorrow on a Tuesday, which is very unusual. So we didn't have those numbers unless we were having like turkey or pot roast or something like that. When we have those days are like 40, 45 people coming by. So that's good. So that's the dining room. Denise is back working her regular schedule, back from her surgery. She was out for 8 or 9 weeks. So she's back now. And the dining room is doing what they do. What's after that?
Brown bag?
Well, Carol kind of does brown bag, but not really in a year because they just basically drop it off at the garage, and they just drive by and pick it up and off they go. No one's coming into the building. They're all assembled at the food bank. So there's no assembly. They're literally just dropping everything off. And people come and that's it.
Do you think they'll continue delivering it the same way when things get going again?
I have no idea. All I know is that some places are going to continue to operate like they have been because they found it easier and more accessible. More people are coming and getting their brown bag, and that could be for 2 reasons. One is it's a pandemic, so food is very expensive. It has gotten more expensive and will continue to be expensive. 2, it is easy. They don't have to get out of their car, come in, carry it. They literally pull up to the garage, we put it in their car, and they drive away. And I'm also using the phone system more. So I'm calling and reminding people to come. So that helps. So I don't know the answer to that. I think maybe they'll do a combination because I don't see bringing a lot of volunteers in to be touching everything that then goes home to people, even though we would obviously now have protocols of gloves and masks, and I don't see that going away when you're dealing with food. But I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see.
I think maybe with the pandemic as it is, because of remote learning and all that stuff now, things are going to change.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to do what now they found easier
Yep.
and quicker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they might continue doing it that way.
Right. Because you're reaching more people, like people who were
Exactly.
maybe skeptical about even coming. They don't really have to be seen. They literally pull up.
Right.
We put it in their car and they give us their name. We check them off and off they go. So, lunch is done in like 17 minutes.
Wow.
Like even the days we have 50 or 60 people here, you're boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
You're out.
Yes.
And brown bag is literally, if people are here, it's like 10 minutes. We wait the whole half hour, but the people who are coming come right at the beginning. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress, for sure.
Transportation?
So transportation, as I told you guys last month, our van is all retrofitted. It has plexiglass in between every seat. Right now we can put 4 people on the van with the driver. There's also a driver barrier that was purchased through a grant through the CARES Act and FEMA. So that van and also the FRTA van has a driver's thing, but it doesn't have the plexiglass, which people have been fine with because they have to wear their masks. They have to have exact change. So the risk is pretty low. But our van will probably just keep it that way because why not? I was at a restaurant this morning and they had the barrier up and I was like, why not keep it this way? It's not a hindrance. It's not,
It still will help when it comes to other viruses, either the flu.
Even the
or
flu, right.
colds Or whatever.
Yep. Yep. And it created a little bit more privacy between tables, even if it was just plastic. It felt like just more privacy. So it's not a hindrance of the van at all. You can still seat the same amount of people. But just because of the pandemic, you can't be at 100% capacity yet. And we have been using the volunteer van more. People kind of got used to calling and us taking them whenever we could. So we're trying to get back to what our schedule was. And that will happen slowly. But again, we have more people now than we had before who know what services are available, because we were everywhere. We were in the newspaper, we're online, we're on Facebook. The newsletters have been in color since June, and people are reading them. So they know what our services are, which is great. I try to pick the positives out of the pandemic. And I think people knowing what the senior center does has definitely been a positive of the pandemic. So, we have more people that we've never met before using our services, which is great. So that's transportation. No trips until I don't even know when. I'm hoping for the fall to do something, even if it's just with 5 people going to a restaurant safely. But I'm not even going there right now because that would just be too hard to do. Pick the first 5 people that call. It'd be like lottery tickets again.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not fair to a lot of people.
yeah, like it just wouldn't be right. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And a lot of people still don't want to get on a van with other people. And, they just don't. So that's transportation.
Finances.
Our finances are good. There is town election is tomorrow, and town meeting is the following Tuesday. Our budget, is good. I think I might have had a line item get cut for travel, but I haven't been going anywhere and all of the conferences have been online for free. So I haven't had to pay for anything. So it's fine. And the formula grant now is a little bit easier because there's not all the paperwork and all the requests that have to go in. So I have a little bit more flexibility with that. I don't have to spend every penny by the end of the fiscal year anymore. So the money can roll over, which is wonderful. Because sometimes I can spend it all and sometimes I have more trouble, and I don't like just spending it on chairs if I don't need them. So I'd rather wait until there's something that we need. So the finances are pretty good.
Classes.
And classes, I mean, Paula, you take classes. They've been pretty popular. We are one senior center of a very few who have been doing them since, when did I start doing those? June or July? Was it June? July?
Last year. I
Yeah.
think, I even think it might have been earlier than that.
It might have been.
Definitely June.
Yeah, it might have been June. And we were the only senior center then doing it. Now there's more doing some things. And I know Westfield is going to be starting to do some outdoor stuff starting in at the end of June, I believe, where we're going to do it through July and take a couple weeks in August off to figure out whether we can open or need to still continue doing it here. I would rather obviously move inside, but if I can only have 3 people or 4 people, doesn't make sense. I have, 10 or 12 people under the tent. So that's nice for people to be able to do that. And, the classes have adjusted. The classes who've had 30 people in it, they can only have 12. So they're better. They're better at kind of accepting that. So I'm just going to continue to do it that way. I am charging $2 a class. But I did have some money in the classes and in our town budget to be able to spend. So that just helps keep the cost down while we still are paying our instructors. And it offers me a little bit more flexibility, which is nice.
Any other new business anybody can think of? Moving on to old business. Anybody?
Welcome back, Harriet. We are looking for new members too, new associate members. If anybody knows anyone, certainly have them give us a call or email me. And we are still looking for someone to do the secretary position.
Cindy, is there anything that will be going on like over here this summer, an outside activity like we had the fiddler last year?
I didn't plan anything yet because wasn't sure what the requirements were going to be, because in the fall there were more and then it got small again.
Right.
So I haven't planned anything, and being completely outside exposed in July and August is very hot. So I didn't know whether I should do that or not. And then limiting the capacity. It is very hot out there in July and August. So I can certainly try to do something. I just didn't try that because I just didn't. I can, if anyone has any suggestions, we can.
September. You know,
Yep.
Once we see what the requirements and things are, maybe
Things may be
September,
better by
'cause
then.
it's,
I
it's
hope
still
so.
nice, but not as hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets pretty hot in the field, and I did buy 2 tents to be able to put out there. I was hoping the restrictions would be eased up a little bit so that we could get more people, like even under a tent. It's very challenging to do that.
Everything's still up in the air.
Yeah. So if anyone I'm sure Sarah would come back if anyone else has any other, performances or anything they would like to do. Obviously we can't do the hoedown or a luau because that's too many people. And then how do you limit that? I mean, we did have some people on the perimeter when we did the things in the fall, which was really nice to do. I absolutely love doing that. And then things got really shut down even more. And they haven't completely gotten back yet. So I guess I'm going to wait for the OEA guidelines and see what they say about events that are being held outside. But it's yes, I want to. I'm not opposed to it. I just didn't know how to limit it because I hate limiting it. I'd rather just be like, okay, sign up and come. But it's challenging when you have to limit it, especially when it's outside. Anything
Any
else?
other old business or?
Donna, do you have anything?
No.
She's still there.
Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, so Donna made the motion to adjourn, seconded by Teresa. We do need any objections, discussion. Then we do need the roll call vote to adjourn. Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Harriet, Donna,
Yes.
Donna Foisey,
Yes.
Oh,
Donna
all right.
Sharon,
Donna, you want to adjourn?
Sure.
She's a sure.
Okay. And Carol Lockwood.
So motion to adjourn carried unanimously. We adjourn at, do you have a time? Because I can't see mine.
12:51.